Hello and welcome back to Ben's Hardcore WoW Challenge, episode number 2. Alright, so in this episode, we're going to start a new character. We got our first character level 6, and we're going to start a new one to keep it fresh while doing the same thing again that I just did. Not exactly, though. So we have Danos, our human warrior, grizzled veteran level 6, looking good. Next class, I'm just going to be going kind of in order they appear, left to right, bottom to top to bottom. So the next class is going to be Paladin. However, to keep things a little fresher, we will be going with Dwarf Paladin. Despite this being the less optimal choice for survivability and general efficiency in combat as a paladin, it's fine. It's not as important as warrior. Warrior hitting things and not missing things is incredibly important. It will mean the difference between living and dying a lot. Whereas paladin, you have a lot more wiggle room, and you do damage without hitting things sometimes. So, much less important. Much less of a absolute necessity, so we can take some liberties and go with a different race just to switch things up a little bit. I'm going to try and vary the races, a little bit. I'm going to do at least one in each of the races, even though I do not particularly enjoy gnomes, but I'll probably choose them for some of the caster races since they are the best race for casters. I do want to, succeed in this challenge. I don't want to give myself any additional handicaps, so we'll be tending to go with optimal things. So we're gonna make a dwarf paladin. Let's just randomize. I'm gonna make a girl dwarf. You really don't see them very often, but they look kind of fine, I guess. I don't know. Let's just switch things up. Wouldn't be what I typically do, but let's just randomize till we yeah, sure, this looks fine. Let's just randomize the name till I like one I like. It's kind of typically how I do things, and no point in really humming and hawing too hard about this name because they might just die. Not really getting a good one though here. Moira? It's kind of like Moira, but spelled weird. Moira. Yeah. Leia? Sounds a bit worse than it looks. Apparently just Dan as almost from Soren. Really? Padme. Hey, this is purely randomized. We're just gonna go with Padme. That's amazing. Didn't think that. Didn't expect that one to come up on the list. All right, Padme. Padme the Paladin. All right, let's get to it. All right. Well, this episode is gonna be a little shorter. Well, maybe. Paladins take a little longer to get to the saving zone, I think. Although they do good damage early on with their Seal of Righteousness. And we can talk a little bit about kind of my plans for Padme here. In terms of professions, I'm thinking if anything was going to be my blacksmither, Paladin would be it. But I really hate... Well, it's a love-hate relationship with blacksmithing. I've leveled the blacksmithing to max more than once in Classic WoW. Which, if you have ever done it yourself, is an insane thing to do. It takes a ridiculous amount of farming, ridiculous amount of materials, And without being able to use the auction house, it would be all farming. So, and the benefits, I think, are really not that good. So I don't know. I don't think blacksmithing is really worth it. Tailoring is worth it because there's definitely like solid upgrades early in tailoring that are certainly worth pursuing. You know, that like there's the spider silk boots, you know, those are worth going for, and like the robes and stuff like that. There's some really nice things you get from tailoring. Leatherworking, also probably not that good. Tailoring might be worth it. Blacksmithing, yeah, really is quite poor in what it gives you in terms of upgrades to your gear. So it just might not be worth the time. And farming for materials is time spent in the world where you could die. And is incredibly boring. So I probably won't do that. I could change my mind on that, but I probably won't be doing blacksmithing on any character. I probably will have at least one tailor. Well, at most one tailor. But blacksmithing and leatherworking, I'm less eager to do. Both because they are more difficult and do not really give you much in terms of their benefits. So that's my thoughts on blacksmithing, profession-wise for this character. So other than that, again, similar to the warrior, engineering would be a great choice. It just has the best items and best outputs for what people what you want to be doing typically, survivability wise. Although Paladin does have a ton of survivability options, you know, built in already. So it's not like I absolutely need engineering on a paladin, whereas you kind of almost need it on a warrior. And there actually might be some characters, this could be one of them, that I just do professions simply for farming for other people or just making money, like just selling the raw materials to the vendor, especially early on. That definitely could happen. And if I can't decide, I'm not 100% sure about what I want to do with the character, that's always just a good thing to do. Just get some herbalism, get some skinning, just have some generically fine income for early levels going on, right? Alright, so we're level 2, get Devotion Aura, pop that on, have a little bit of armor, really almost doesn't matter. Can you get the quest in here yet, or no? No, you can't. Level 3 or 4. Alright, let's go kill some Trogs. Yeah, alright. So yeah. This character is actually going to be a pretty interesting talent build. You know, I talked a little bit about my talent build thoughts for the warrior in the warrior episode, but for this girl, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, in classic, like, you know, in Wrath and BC, you know, protection is great, and it's like you deal a ton of damage and you never die, and it's great. But in classic, that's not exactly the case. Although I've never actually tried it. People just say it's bad, and it might just be slow, but maybe you never die, and maybe it's fine. So I'll have a look at the talent tree when I get there, but definitely not gonna. Well, so yeah, like I said in the last episode, it's not all about survivability. Dealing damage is important, to survive encounters. Because the faster you kill something, the faster they stop damaging you. So whenever you pull multiple things, like when you pull one thing, like it's pretty much like either you have enough damage to kill it or you have enough survivability to kill it before you die. It's like kind of like it's just like a one-dimensional scale there, right? Like you either kill this thing or you don't. Either you have enough toughness to survive its attacks till it dies, or you have enough damage to kill it before it kills you. Like, or like, you know, the combination of those two factors helps you not die, right? Like, it's pretty, you know, there's much to it there. But when it comes to anything that has more than one creature attacking you, it becomes a kind of a balance, right? Like a calculation there saying, okay, if I was this much more, you know, had this much more armor or this much mitigation, I would be able to survive for longer, but the longer you're in a fight, the more damage you're taking. So it's definitely something, especially as like a paladin that has multiple ways to go down talent trees that are going to offer me different tools and different damage levels, things like that. Something I'm going to have to consider. Because you could go like all holy and just be able to heal yourself really effectively. Won't deal a ton of damage, but you will just always be able to heal yourself. And the pushback on healing talent actually just might be like really, really, really valuable. Being able to heal through pushback while mobs are attacking you probably is relevant enough that I'm going to want that. It's also the talent tree that has consecration. You need that for consecration. So probably, and yeah, so like I'll probably, you know, based on what I remember about the talent trees for Paladin in Classic, probably going to go into Holy first. Grab either Strength or Intelligence in those first 5. Then probably choose the pushback option. I believe that's in the 2nd tier. So that's how we'll play that, I believe. And maybe just go, yeah, pretty deep on Holy. I mean, Holy Tree's really good in Classic. You know, it's got just like great sustain options for yourself. You know, you just healing crits, don't use mana. Like, yeah, definitely could be that. A little mini game would be fun to see is which character of these 8 is going to get the most bags out of the starting zone. Because I think I got 2 from the warrior. Yeah, so 2's pretty good. I mean, definitely not the most I've ever got, but you know, I've definitely come out of the starting zone with 0 bags, which sucks quite a lot. Oh, actually, I should get that quest from inside. I think it's level 3. You get that quest. Yes. Yeah. So I am recording this episode immediately after I finish recording the first one. So this is going to come out the next day. And, you know, given this is the first thing I've ever done on YouTube on this channel, I'm not expecting to have a ton of feedback or anything after the first day or any even views at all. So not kind of... Not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth it. Not worth that 72 copper to get that 0.2 DPS increase. So, yes. Second episode. First episode has been out. I'm unlikely to have any views or any comments on it. But if I do, I hope they're positive. And I hope they're good feedback. And, again, I would like to ask, if you are watching this, to let me know what you think of the idea, the content, the execution of it, and also any technical feedback, sound, video quality, you know, in-game sound levels, like, do you want the sound to be higher, the music to be lower, that kind of stuff, anything like that. I would love to hear from that, and also just, you know, general feedback, stuff like that. Again, I will ask you to refrain from telling me anything that you think I should be doing in the game, because this is, a series where I challenge myself. I suppose, just in case this is your first episode and you haven't watched the previous episode, I probably should show my rule set. So let's show the rule set. Here it is. Number 1, if any character dies, I have to delete them immediately and restart. I'm not allowed to use the auction house or trade with any other players. I cannot group or receive help from any other players, either intentionally or unintentionally. Obviously, this rule is a little loose. If someone kills a mob that I am killing, I can't help someone helping me in that way. It's going to happen sometimes. But not intentionally grouping or intentionally receiving assistance or accepting assistance in any way. No add-ons in game. No outside assistance. No looking things up. No Googling any information. No looking at guides or talent builds or anything like that. Nothing like that. And then I can trade. The one thing I can do is trade between my hardcore characters, the ones that I'm going to be having on this challenge. Those can trade between each other. So that's how that's going to work. Okay. Now that I've gone over that, let's get back to the gameplay. Yeah, I probably should do that every episode, is go a quick overview of the rules, just in case someone hasn't tuned in to an episode, and that's their first one. So I will try and make sure I do that every episode. And, okay. So let's talk a little bit about Paladin in general. Paladin's, it's kind of it's my favorite class, I would say, in WoW. Always has been from the beginning. And when I play WoW when I play current WoW or any kind of version of WoW, Paladin's the class I gravitate towards, as well as Druid. Those are my two favorite classes. The hybrid classes, they can do any role. I like that. I like being able to fill any role for my group and that kind of stuff. But also, I love the aesthetic of Paladin the most. I like their deal. I'm a lawful good kind of simple guy, that kind of thing, when I play D&D, lawful good, all that stuff, that kind of thing. So Paladin's always been my thing. And so when Classic first came out, I played Paladin and Druid. Those are my two classes. So I'm definitely familiar with Paladin. I'm familiar with every class in Classic WoW. I've played every single one at least to level like 40, 50, and most to 60. Most. Maybe not most. Hunter, definitely. Paladin, Druid, yes. Did I get a mage to 60? Not sure. Rogue I did, I believe. Warlock, I don't believe I did, actually. So maybe it's less than I think. I've definitely played to like the mid-levels of every single one, at least once. So I have some familiarity with all the classes. But Paladin and Druid are my most played across all versions of WoW, and Classic specifically as well. So Paladin, I'm very familiar with it, very familiar with its toolset, how it plays, and I know it's incredibly boring to play and probably pretty boring to watch. But I'll try and spice things up a bit when I can. Because a lot of Paladin is, very similar to the first few levels of playing Paladin. The rest of it's quite similar. You put your seal on and you hit it until it dies. That's pretty much how it goes for a lot of the time. So not exactly, riveting gameplay, but I don't think anyone's watching this series. If you are watching this series, I don't think anyone is doing that for the excitement. Although, there will be excitement. It is hardcore when I have close calls or when I'm going into a cave or doing specifically difficult quests, some things like that. Or if I ever try and solo a lower level dungeon, even that will still be exciting. If and when I do that. So it's not like there won't be excitement early on, I think, yeah, not so much. And there's definitely going to be some very boring episodes where it's just me talking and you watching me, or most likely only listening, because watching the videos of these videos is, yeah, not going to be the, the most amazing thing in the whole world, for a lot of these videos. Going to look a lot like this for a lot of them. So yeah, this is more of a personal project that I wanted to upload to YouTube to keep me honest and catalog it. And, if people, for some reason, want to watch this and are interested in this and want to follow along with me on this journey, I'd be super thrilled if this YouTube series gets almost no traction. I'm still going to upload them every single day. So, or most days. I don't know what the upload schedule is going to be. It's going to obviously depend on my availability to play this game, and stuff like that. So, I don't need to kill this guy. That's good. So yeah, my personal availability to play this game is obviously going to change how often these upload, but and depending on how long I make the episodes. To start, they're under an hour, so not too much. And I'm not doing very much editing at all, if at all, because I don't want there to be any cuts in the video, because I don't want there to be any hint of any, I want you to see me from logging in to logging out at the end. That's any other gameplay. There should be no other gameplay happening. I want there to be no questions about whether or not I died ever. Not that I would ever want to do that. This is a personal challenge as much as it is anything else. So I'm going to go and train, even though typically I would, should do Refugee's Quandary. Well, you have to come back anyway. Yeah, it's fine. I should take it back. Level up. But yeah, so what was this talking about? Yes, this is a personal project that I am uploading, and my hope is that anyone who watches this just kind of finds it a little bit of good background noise, or just a little bit entertaining, or just I don't know. I'm not gonna manicure this series to. I'm not going to be doing anything, crazy to make it super marketable or really interesting. I'm just going to be doing it at my own pace, doing my own thing. Not making it as boring as I can or anything like that. Or I'm going to be trying my best to make it as interesting as I can when I can. But it's going to be what it is. It's not going to be anything extra. Which I think is good, and it's going to be a lot of content, and so anyone who ever watches all of this, I just really would applaud you in your in your ability to persevere, because technically I guess I should be putting these on, but I do need two silver. Ooh, that helps a lot. Oh, that got me there. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I would applaud anyone, but I would question their sanity a little, at least a little, right? Because it's I probably I've definitely watched long form series that were about as entertaining as what I think I'm putting out, because that's just what I wanted to do. So it's not that I couldn't see anyone ever doing it. It's just I'll be surprised if this gets any significant amount of interest. Let's put it that way. But it's a personal project, and I'm just gonna share it with whoever wants to share in it, and it might be really, really happy if people enjoyed it. But I won't be shocked if nobody does, or nobody watches the whole thing, or hangs on every word and every frame of video or anything like that, because it's gonna be really boring, guys. It's gonna be supremely boring for almost all of it. But that's okay. That's what Classic is. It's just a journey. It's just questing. It's just playing this game, right? And I love this game, and I assume if you're here, watching this video, I assume you also love, it, or at least enjoy this game. Maybe don't love it the way some people do, but it's just part of the journey, part of just watching this series is just gonna be part of that journey. All right, we got Felix's box here, and we're gonna head over to this other camp and get his other tools, kill some trolls. But yeah, so Paladin gameplay. Let's talk a little bit more about Paladin gameplay. High survivability, low damage is kind of the name of the game here. Good self-healing, high armor. Yeah. This is probably gonna be this, yeah, and because of the way I'm doing this series, where I'm kind of gonna be trying to spend equal amount of time on each character, it'll be interesting to see which ones level up the fastest and the slowest. My guess is Paladin is gonna be one of the slower ones, just because they don't deal a ton of damage. They don't have any really too much AoE capability, so won't be shocked if this one lags behind a bit, which is a excuse me, sorry. Another good reason to not do blacksmithing on this character is that this character is very liable to be behind the other male wearing class, which is a warrior. Yeah, that's the other reason Paladin. Really, who am I making armor for? This character and the warrior? It just doesn't seem worth it. The cloth one, there's like still only 3. I feel like I'm missing a class in my head. I can't cast that yet. It's good. Yeah, there's Warrior Paladin. They wear mail and plates. There's Rogue, Hunter, Druid. Those are all leather. Well, then mail for Hunter, but and then yeah, Cloth, Priest, Warlock, Mage, and that's it. Yeah, okay. So 3, and 2, kind of. So blacksmithing is like the least versatile of the 3 production professions, as well as being the most time-consuming, resource-intensive, and close to, if not the worst, in terms of output. So, yeah, probably just skip on blacksmithing. But let me know in the comments if you want me to have, if another part of the challenge I can add is having at least one of every single profession maxed out. That would be, that would be something. Sure would be something I would have to do. That would kind of, I don't want to say the word nice, because it would not be nice. It would be awful. It would be truly, truly horrible. To have to level up blacksmithing to max again. But if I'm already doing this challenge, maybe It's something I can think about at least. Add that as an extra rule at the end. You know, by the end, I need every single profession in the game, at least one of them, at max level. Take the two-handed mace here. Alright, let's go kill this man. Feels like this is going a little faster than the warrior episode in terms of speed of leveling. Yeah, I think paladins, like, honestly, Seal of Righteousness, Judgment, it's pretty high DPS early on. So, not shocked that actually we're doing just fine here in terms of speed. Early on, they're pretty comparable. Like you kind of like 2-hit things, 3-hit things. It's kind of nuts actually, how much better it is at the start than, you know, later on. Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, yeah, sure, it's gonna take a lot of time, but this year is gonna be very long. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna add that as an addendum to my rule set. Is that at the end, the challenge is not complete until one of every single profession is at max level. We'll see if that's even that would be really hard. Well, not really hard, but get enchanting max level, so I have to solo Uldaman, which as certain classes probably won't be too hard. After a certain level, you don't have to solo the entirety of Uldaman, which is really hard because the final boss is legitimately difficult for a fresh 60. I think, I'm pretty sure. Like obviously, like a raid geared 60, don't think would have any issues with the final boss of Uldaman. But a fresh 60 or a close to 60, I think might still struggle with the final boss of Uldaman. Getting to where the enchanting trainer is in Uldaman shouldn't be too hard for a relatively leveled class, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Let's put some stuff on that. I've kind of been neglecting the inventory a little bit. Yeah, well, looks good. Yeah, looks good. Is there any other bottlenecks in that idea? Blacksmithing is just time gated. I don't believe, like, yeah, I guess the only thing I need to think about is there anything that stops you from getting to max level? Or max level professions in terms of dungeons. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is there any profession that requires you to go to a dungeon other than enchanting? And I don't think so. Not off the top of my head that I can recall. But I will have to double check that. Well, not double check. I'm not gonna look it up, but I mean, think about that. And yeah, I'm not gonna look it up. I'm not gonna look it up. It's against the rules. But if I want to add to the rule set, I might look it up. You know, like, cause like I don't want to add something to the rule set that like is functionally impossible. But yeah, let me know what you think of that. Obviously, we're super far off from that, so no issues if I change my mind on that front once or twice. Kind of that's a long way off. I think I'm gonna plan for that to be the case, and you can always change professions and stuff, so it's really not a big deal, right? Like, you know, especially earlier on, like this early on to the challenge, like there's definitely some characters I'm gonna do some professions on that I'm gonna plan to drop at some point. Like I'm just gonna do some professions because why not? And then drop them later for other professions that are more useful. That's fine. Don't care. Like the other character, I'm gonna try and get this person level 6 in the starting zone. Pretty far off that at this point. Yeah. Yeah. So if I do need a blacksmither by the end, I might as well make it a paladin, I suppose. Just, Man, it's the only profession I'm hesitant about is blacksmith. It's the only one. Alchemy, super easy to get to max. Practically does its, herbalism, alchemy practically grinds itself. Like, you don't need, like, whenever I've ever done alchemy in classic, I've had to do literally 0 outside grinding other than just running around the world questing. I've never had to specifically say I gotta go herb to level up my alchemy or herbing. Like, it's never like I get to a zone and I can't do any of the herbs, or I run out of herbs and I can't train them alchemy. Like, literally never happened to me ever whenever I've done alchemy in classic. So alchemy's by far the easiest in my opinion. Tailoring's obviously also easy. You get the materials all the time wherever you go. I hope I haven't missed no, I would have noticed if I missed a bag in one of these mobs that I've kind of been talking about as I've been looting them. Tailoring's no problem. Enchanting, is what it is. Won't be that exciting, but it'll be fine. It won't be that hard. Just, farm greens, send greens to them, that kind of stuff. And in classic, any green just chance to anybody, so won't need to worry about that. So you got enchanting, tailoring, blacksmithing, yeah, we talked about. Leatherworking is fine, not that hard. Requires maybe a tiny bit of extra farming, but not significant. Nothing like mining. Engineering also difficult, but worth it. It's like engineering is like super worth leveling up, whereas blacksmithing's like you get to max and there's nothing even good. Although maybe the end, like the mid to late blacksmithing levels, I think the problem is that the items you make are just not as good as the items you get from like dungeons and stuff. So it kind of feels useless. But if you're not doing dungeons, and if you're not min-maxing gameplay and knowing where to go for all the gear, because I'm just gonna be doing this from memory, I might well get some upgrades from blacksmithing. So maybe I'm being a bit down on blacksmithing, being a bit unfair to it. Very possible. Very possible. I have 2 quests to hand in here. I'm gonna play it safe and get just a few more kills here before I go hand in quests. Just want to make sure I get to level 6. And there's a chest here. Not that I have the inventory space for things like chests. Alright, is there what other persons are there? Okay, alchemy. Oh, no, jewel crafting's not yet. What else is there? Mining, skinning, herb, of course. Enchanting, tailoring, blacksmithing, engineering, leatherworking. Is that it? Yeah, I guess that is it, isn't it? Alright. Alright. I'm going to officially say I might do that. Officially adding a rule that I might do that thing that I said that I might do. There you go. It's been officially, potentially added. Yeah. I'm going to try and get every profession to max. So, if that's the plan, I need a blacksmither, and my warrior can't be one because he needs to be engineering to not die at level 15. So for engineering for them, I'll take the shield. I don't know, maybe I'll find a sword. I can't carry anymore. I'll just get rid of these frayed shoes. So I suppose this Padme is my blacksmither. So they'll also be mining. And then there'll be some. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Actually, there might actually not be as many grinding episodes or grinding content as I think, because I'm gonna have 8 characters, and there's only so many professions to go around, and there really isn't any reason to have overlap. The only reason I could think to have overlap, no, that's way too late in the game for it to even consider. So yeah, there's like the ropes, the magi, which are like bound on equip, but I'm pretty sure that's even like, that might just be like max level, like literally max level. So not important. Might even be like a raid recipe. I can't remember off the top of my head. Didn't get to level 6. Come on, so close. Unfortunate. Yep. Let's go kill a couple things so I can level up right in there. Let's go kill a couple wolves. So I'm definitely gonna have some people who don't have any production professions, who have only gathering professions. And so if that's the case, then I guess I'm gonna sell some of the materials after I know I don't need them anymore. But some of them obviously are gonna give materials to like the blacksmith. Like mining is something I probably then, if that's what I'm doing, most of my characters who aren't doing production professions should definitely have at least mining, because that's the thing I'm gonna need the most of by so far. Like, it's crazy how much mining you need in the late game to level up, and even in the early game to level up professions that require mining to level up. It's absolutely ludicrous how much ore you need to level up. Wow. I literally just went, killed a wolf, didn't level up, walked back. I was too busy thinking about other things and talking about other things. Oh, I guess so silly. Okay, yeah. I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not gonna spoil my thoughts on. I'm gonna save my other thoughts on other classes, professions, choices until I get to those classes. So we're gonna hold off on those. Okay, I literally almost said the exact same thing. Just don't expect how little these level 1 wolves to give me. But I mean, that makes sense. Really, not even then. Wow. Okay, let's level 3 Cragboar should get me there, no problem. There it is. I mean, really, functionally leveling up here and leveling up in Karanos is literally no different. So, it's kind of just like my personal preference for this challenge. Normally, I don't do this. Normally, I don't bother with doing this. For some reason, just this challenge, I feel like getting a level 6 in the starting zone. It just feels like, yes, that I'm safe. I'm good. You know, there's doing things good. Okay, so it literally isn't worth using this, right? Like, Seal of Righteousness, I'm pretty sure is just just mathematically just better than Seal of Crusader, other than some niche circumstances. So I'm not gonna even bother with it. Divine Protection, obviously gotta have that, and Holy Light Rank 2. Yeah. I'll take one. But we'll leave that Crusader business in the trainer's pockets. Yeah, don't think I'm going to be using Seal of Crusader almost ever. Alright, so that's it for the Paladin Starting Zone. Obviously, yeah, like I said, a little easier, a little, well, not, in the Warrior episode, I literally almost died in the Starting Zone, which, honestly, literally never happens to me. That was quite shocking to even come close to dying in the Starting Zone. I promise you, well, don't make any promises, but I'm gonna play it safer, you know. In the Starting Zone, I'm just talking, I'm barely even looking at the screen, I'm kind of just thinking and kind of, as I'm saying, talking about things about the game or the professions or whatever, you know. I'm just kind of thinking about things. I'm not really paying attention to the game because I know how easy it is in the Starting Zone, so I'm not concerned in any way. Once I get out of the Starting Zone, it's gonna be a bit more like I'm gonna be pretty focused on the game. Still gonna be talking, but I'm gonna be talking about literally how each kill is going type stuff, you know, because it's gonna be that, you know, kind of intense, or you know, it's not like intense all the time, but like when I'm in a cave, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, what profession should I do on this character, you know, that's just not gonna be happening. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that was it for Paladin for the starting zone. And you know, yeah, Paladin I'm expecting to have very little issues with. They have great defensive tools, great self-healing, good escape. They have stuns, you know, that kind of stuff. Like they have all the tools. Like this is probably one of the easier classes to do this on. So really, yeah, not gonna be too concerned about Paladin really. Ooh, pants, nice. Whereas Warrior, obviously, you know, like if my first Warrior that I make for this challenge makes it all the way, that would be fantastic. If Warrior gets all the way and not everything else does, I will be shocked. I truly will be shocked. And so yeah, that will be quite surprising. We could just, for a minute, instead of me talking, we could just enjoy the scenery and the music of Dunmoreau. Well, I didn't want to increase that, actually. Okay, we made it to the Thunderbrew Distillery, where Padme has had a very eventful first day on the job. And she's gonna relax, take in the sight and sound of Karanos, and we'll come back to her in probably a few days after she's rested a bit and recuperated, and we'll get back to it, venturing in the snowy region of Dunmoreau. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Let me know if you have any feedback at all for any capacity of any of this video at all. Technical content, anything like that, just let me know. Would love to hear back from any of you. And I'll catch you guys next time for episode 3, where we will start a new class. All right, I'll see you guys then. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.